going on, everybody? We have the great Mr. Burns from D3fenders on the show today. Mr. Burns, how are you doing, buddy?
Jarek, chilling, man. Excited to be here.
Oh, no, I'm excited for you to be here and, talking about all your, your safety protocols, everything you're doing great for the space and, something that's very, very needed because I've been drained multiple times actually. So definitely could have used the D3fenders in that time. But before we get into all that, kind of give us your background and how'd you get into Web3 and just tell us a little bit more about you.
So my background is I've got about 20 years in the IT business and love technology. When I really I heard about Bitcoin back in 2014 and sounded cool. Sounded like an awesome way to get rich and with some weird internet money. And right around that same time, I had a buddy who I actually worked with him. He was also in IT, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll show you how to set up a digital wallet." And he said digital wallet, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was too, in 2014, it just was too different compared to, whatever I was using back then, I guess, like PayPal. And I really wish that I had just said yes.
Yeah.
It took me a few more years to actually get into the space. And eventually, I came in and I was sick. I had a really bad surgery and had been laid up for 3 weeks. And in my downtime, I was speaking with a buddy who, total nerd, big, I'm fairly certain he was the kind of guy who had tons and tons of Doge. Pretty sure that he had lots of Doge, and was just a total meme master and just loved it for the memes. And he turned me on to, he got me into the Robinhood app at the time and set me up with, so I came in 2020. And so I got Robinhood set up. I got my Coinbase wallet set up, and I started just digging in really hard, learning about really the utility coins. I love the idea about how this new rail system could underlie actual Web 2 transactions and the real world. I was obsessed with VeChain actually. The fact that they were working in
supply chain.
It just was so cool, and it made so much sense. The fact that things were actually transparent and you could do it in an efficient way that everybody could see. I love that because big businesses do whatever the hell they want, and being able to monitor and being able to see where funds are going, and it just made a lot of sense to me. So got into really top 100 stuff, and then eventually found my way into to NFTs and started off on ETH and then BSC, and eventually found my way to Solana. Actually, I was trading on Polygon before I ever traded on Solana, way back, and back when Poly was just a really different network, and found my home in a lot of NFT communities, and surrounded myself by builders, and have just really dug in.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so it sounds like you've been in crypto for a while, and I actually want to sidetrack to this question, right? So you're saying all these great things, right? Top 100 coins and, VeChain and all this stuff, Solana and for the tech and everything like that. But, as of late, as we've got into this new cycle, what's been kind of your take on this meme coin craze? It's come out way stronger, man. And now it's it seems to be I think it's going to lead the whole side. I don't think it's going to die down. What's kind of been your whole kind of take on this whole meme coin rush that's been happening?
So it's cultural currency, right?
Yes.
It is. When people buy a meme coin, they're buying into a culture, and in a way, kind of defines who they are in that Web3 sense. You've got like people who maybe are a little bit more conservative, go with Doge, or like people who really like raunchy memes and are just all over it. And I think that the function of meme coins really is it's onboarding. I mean, it's a massive, massive, massive marketing event that, you see this in Times Square, and you see it on billboards, and you see it all over the place. And, at the end of the last bull run, where what was really interesting at the end of the last bull run was that memes were so friggin' big, right? That you have, grandmas buying Doge on like,
or like Shiba and stuff too.
Exactly, right? And you have people doing wacky mathematical calculations that, like if Sheeb drops 5 more zeros, it'll be worth $1. And, meanwhile, like dropping 5 zeros from like whatever it was. So Sheeb, I think, hit like 40 billion last bull run. Like that's big. Pretty sure it was somewhere in that neighborhood, or maybe it was 11 billion. I don't know. It was a lot.
No, you're right. I think it got up close to like, I was in that 40-50 range, man. It was up there.
That's a freaking high market cap, and so to have like another 1000x is like you're talking massive market caps. Could it happen in the next bull run, like with all the Bitcoin spot ETFs and all that inflow of cash? Like there's a possibility, I guess, but like it seems pretty far-fetched. Anyway, the end of the last bull run, like you have all of the marketing that's happening with like crypto.com, sports arena, you've got UFC, and you have you have it coming from all these angles. Elon Musk, right? It's on Saturday Night Live. It's everywhere. Like Matt Damon and what's her face?
Yeah, I remember that
on those commercials. So this bull run, obviously memes are hot right now, and I think probably that the cool thing is that we've got another approximately a year or so. People say 18 months of the bull run, and just imagine all these cycles that we're going through, where like you have a big pump, right, and then you have consolidation period and another big pump. Some of these tokens are going to be really huge market caps. We've already got some of the early ones up breaking billions, and I think it's really interesting to see, to be part of it, and to to just imagine what the next year is going to look like, because there's going to be millionaires made,
which is it's crazy enough, right? Because like it's just like, I don't know, man, because like I remember there was a time there was like very taboo to even talk about meme coins in this last cycle. Once you talked about it, like you as an influencer and everything like that, you were almost kind of like not taken serious. So it's just weird now that's actually, now you have AVAX doing their thing, right? And Arbitrum now is doing their thing too as well with their meme coins too. And it's been saying, like, I don't know how much like Solana is kind of like pushed, but of course you have what is his name, Nick, Choose Rich. I mean, they're kind of leading that thing. It's just been a weird, I don't know, as someone that like, I haven't been in it long though, but as someone like you that's been in it for a little bit, just to see it progress, right? Like, oh, it's about like utility and this, that, and this supply chain, and then now it's like come back to like just this weird like meme coin craze. It's just really weird though. But as I definitely want to talk to you about the whole like defenders and everything like that. Like, what exactly is
come on, man, let's
the defenders?
Coins. Let's talk about shit. But it's MemeFi, right? So now it's the evolution of meme coins, where initially it was just like straight, this is a meme, and it's going to go to the moon. And now the meme coins, like, it's the backdoor, right? Where you have a meme coin, you've got a badass marketing team, you have people who support it, you've got whales, you've got market makers, you have all these big brains from the industry. Like Bonk is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Bonk was not just like an accident. It was not an accident. Like if you were here when Bonk went live, I was really, really lucky with Bonk. And
I hated it.
But like, you look for the social cues, right? For me, the social cues are the most important thing. If I see every single influencer, big, small, like massive, talking about bonk on a network, or like any meme coin, it's definitely not by accident. It's orchestrated and paid for, really, like. And so I think like Solana really, from top to bottom, was pretty supportive of bonk, but I don't, and they're pretty supportive. I feel like other chains seem to be more supportive of meme coins because it's what brings people on, right? Like I never would have traded on Arbitrum had it not been for like hearing about some of these big going huge, right?
Like Boner and like just some of these like weird ones, and then I don't know, man. It's like a weird time though, but also too, as a NFT founder, right? And people are saying that like, well, because like everybody's like flaming like NFTs, right? And everyone's saying like, hey, NFTs will come back, NFTs are not, NFTs are dead. What's kind of like your take? Like, when do you think NFTs will be back, right? In a sense, right?
I think from my perspective, it's all in cycles, right? Are NFTs going to die? I just don't think so. Not that like my bags depend on it. Like I like NFTs because of the community, because of the function behind them, right? This token gated access. And then the community representation, right? Like it's important. I actually wish that X would change some of its policies. And we were talking about this in the Chaz group the other day. Like I have so many PFPs that I would love to rock, but I don't.
Oh hell yeah!
Tech mark, right? Like I'd like rock a Ute. I'd rock a drill. I would rock famous foxes. Like there's tons and tons. Avatars, guacamole. I'm part of the avocado council, and I would rock a little avocado guy. So like I have defenders too. Like it's a strange thing to force a community and really individuals to only have one face. When in the digital realm, like we've got tons, man. Like I belong to all these different communities. And they all mean something to me. I'm in them for different reasons, and there's. I think that it's just X needs some serious development on the Web3 side.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't know. Like I know they're gonna come back, but everybody's like kind of like saying like when, right? When, and I put it as it's kind of a new cycle, right? But we can kind of check out the last cycle, right, with NFTs, right? They kind of blew up kind of towards the end of kind of like the bull run and whatnot. So that's where I'm kind of thinking that they're going to be kind of back. Like, but everybody was flaming me because I love the community aspect of it, right? Like you had just said it that you get into these communities. Like that's why I got into like D-Gods, Utes, and Goons World and everything like that. Just was the community, and it's just that getting into those communities and actually networking with people and everything like that. I know people flame me for whatever, man, but I don't regret it at all. And you said it yourself right there, like getting in and just kind of like seeing all these like cool people building all this stuff within the community has just been, to me, it's been amazing. I'm still amazed by some of the creators that some of these communities have.
I would put money. I would put money. NFTs will have another pump, potentially. I don't know. This summer, I'm thinking, like when crypto settles down, we have halving happen, right? Probably a decent sized pump into May. That sell in May and walk away is, I would assume that probably people will take their profits during that summer hiatus, because the summertime always is like a little slower, right? And I would assume that over the summertime, some funds will come back into NFTs. And it's a cycle, right? Like when people start taking profits, they want to put it into an inverse investment where, like if you're taking profits on Solana or Polygon or whatever it is, where are you going to put it? Well, there's a good chance that like NFTs might be bottoming right now. And if they're bottoming right now and we're hitting like, one of these little peaks within the cycle, then you take those big profits and you roll them into these NFTs, which look dead right now, but really they're just at this bottom of the cycle. So
yeah, no, I don't think they're like, they're gonna die off at any point in time. I do think that there's gonna be they're gonna evolve into something else, right? I think they're gonna be. I think Frank has said it too as well. Like, I think he's hinted at the 404s and things like that, and hybrid NFTs, and at some point in time, like I said, there's going to be some form of like they're going to evolve into something else. So I can't wait to actually see that. But when people buy like these high price NFTs, and I've seen it on the timeline, right? And it's almost like every couple of days or almost every day, there's somebody posting like, "Hey, this is like just for instance, yesterday someone got a mutant ape stolen. This is my mutant ape. This was for my ever mutant ape, but I have now been drained, right?" And they give us this long thing. This hurts because I had like D-Gods, I had all these other things in this wallet. I'm completely crushed, right? And this actually can be like a really good transition to actually what you guys do as well with the defenders, right? And how can you guys kind of prevent like something like that from happening?
So what Defenders is, it's a suite of security-based tools, Web3 security-based tools that are all focused on protecting the user and preventing from wallet drains. And so, overall, like our mission is to reduce scams, to make it so that the network is safer to operate on. And our hope is that the more secure networks are, the less the less effective scams are overall. And it reduces the efficacy of the scams, right? And so like, and not even like just the efficacy, but like it reduces the amount of money that scammers can make. Scammers make a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
absurd amount of money, and it's really sad. And like there's like a range of scams too, but overall, like as far as like wallet drains are concerned, and the goal is to build a bunch of tools, which we already have a decentralized vault system. So the decentralized vault system is it prevents wallet drains via a security layer that sits inside of your wallet. It's almost like that's literally like a vault inside of your wallet, a smart contract based vault that your assets go inside of the vault, fully self-custodial, and then it's. Am I getting a bunch of like feedback on your end? No, you're good?
No, I'm good.
Great. So it's custodial, it is government today, which people are completely used to. And so for us, Web3, it's slightly more centralized, can be slightly more centralized, but overall, the idea is that you create one more friction point that's in between you and a drain. And these wallet drains are socially engineered constructs that are built to catch you at your weakest moment. Like typically it's FOMO. Like you see something that you really want to click that button for, and it happens just over and over and over again. It's awful. Absolutely awful. And so what we're building is like a bunch of different products that envelope an aspect of security into your daily life, your Web3 life, that weren't there before. Some of them are more novel than others, and then other ones are existing platforms or existing protocols that are more secure. And we just haven't spoken about them a lot. Some of these other products that we're going to put out.
Yeah, no, and it's just like with these wallet drains, like it is so like heartbreaking, especially like when I see it happened to me with like some of my NFTs that see like some of your favorite ones, and then you go like wake up in the morning, you see them listed or being sold, or seeing like that whole like go looking at your wallet and seeing them all being like transferred out and everything like that. It's just it's a very like gut wrenching feeling. I wouldn't really wish it on anybody. And talking with the app, like from my understanding of it too, is you're gonna have to use like an authenticator app, or like how is that gonna kind of work?
So the 2FA is verified via like Google Auth, right? And so basically what happens is you set up the vault inside your wallet, You create your 2FA account. It makes a soulbound connection to between your wallet and Google Auth, this code. And when you want to, and then once you've created that, you can put NFTs and tokens into the vault. When you do that, like you sign the contract to basically like move it from the inside of your wallet or like the outside of your wallet to the inside of the vault, all inside of the wallet. When you do this, the 2FA is the security layer that prevents you from being able to sign the transaction. So you have to sign 2FA before you can even sign the wallet transaction to move things into the vault or move things out of the vault. And where we went a step further, because freeze protocols have been around, like it's part of the blockchain. Where we went a step further is we solve for the problem of like a simple freeze protocol. You can freeze your assets, but if you have your seed phrase compromised, as soon as you like move your assets out of that vault, then they're likely to be drained, right? Because someone else has your seed phrase, they can do whatever they want. What we built was inside of our vault, there is an emergency escape mechanism that you actually fund with the gas fees, and you interact with the smart contract inside of your wallet, and so you can tell it to, before like the asset actually leaves that vault, you tell the vault, all right, cool, I'm gonna here's some gas, please send these assets somewhere else to a safe wallet, and so like you have that emergency migration tool, which that's a really big deal, you know, like for me, knowing that my assets are safe and that there's not really there's not a lot to worry about, which is like part of the reason I built this is that I want to be able to shitcoin and not worry about it. I want to be able to be a degen and like and just know that like if my assets are inside of this vault, they're fine. And if the main vault is move them to it.
Yeah, no, that's that's definitely like, something that I wish I would have had like, a long time ago. And, like having like that extra layer of security, like definitely would like make everybody feel better, especially with these high priced assets like, like Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, D-Gods, OK Bears, all of those. Cause those right there are like, I mean, those are like, you plan to, not so much like sell them, but maybe sell them down the road, but that keeps you into like a lot of like IRL events, things like that. And, with this contract and everything like that, like, has that been kind of like audited and who's exactly done it?
Yep, it's fully audited. So there's one of the leading security firms on Solana. It's called Sec3. They audit Metaplex and really like the majority of the really large organizations on Solana are audited by Sec3. And they've fully audited our front end and our back end.
Ah, see, that's great right there. So, guys, right there, as you're watching right here, it's been like fully like audited and everything like that. And kind of talking about you have like the defenders, right? And you're having all these like different like NFTs, right? Is there like kind of a, I guess you could say, people that hold like multiple? Is there like some sort of like reward or anything like that for holding like multiple of these NFTs, or what's the kind of advantage of holding like so many of them?
So holding, like just starting out, holding one gives you unlimited access to the tech, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have, we've been talking about 3.13.33 for a really, really long time. And basically these are our rewards tiers where as we begin to drive in revenue, which we're still really small, and it's okay. It's cool, the product works and people love it. Like once they start using it, they're able to sleep good. It's nice. And so we have a pretty dedicated community, and the holders of 3.13.33, like one of what we aim to build is a point system that rewards people inside of those tiers in a non-Ponzi way.
Okay, cool.
So
like,
like,
can you go into that?
Yeah. So overall, like if you have revenue coming into a business, right, you can split off a portion of that revenue, and then what we're going to do is have that revenue pool that is like a USDC revenue pool, and then have that paired with points. So you earn points by staking, and you're able to. So it's actually this really interesting thing that, like, you know, serial companies do, and actual like Web2 companies do. They do reward systems, right? Where the rewards, instead of doing a rev share, which is illegal in the US, basically.
Yeah.
If you have a reward system, you're not paying them. They're getting points, and then they're redeeming those points. And so what our reward system would be is this pooled USDC points. You redeem the points, and then you're able to spend the points on various things within our ecosystem. So we're actually partnered with Guacamole. And one of the things that, you know, once we get to the point of having this reward system, is you'd be able to cash your points in for guac, which is kind of cool.
No, that's kind of cool. Like right there, I was just kind of curious. Like, you know, you said, like, you know, a lot of people like have the NFTs, and I like the fact that you guys do like a reward system for someone that holds like, you know, 50, 100 and whatnot. But as we kind of get into, you know, the next thing you guys are going to do, right? The next chain you're going to go to, and that's going to be Polygon. Kind of talk to us more about that, and what exactly you're going to do on Polygon.
So really same kind of thing. Like what we want to do is we want to come to Polygon, and we're building out our EVM side of the product, right? So overall, one of the biggest drivers of going to Polygon is I love the friggin' community. I love Polygon. Great. I know there's been some like friction recently, but like everybody's gonna be pissed because NFTs don't have a huge amount of value. Like every chain, people are saying it's going to zero, and you know, insane. It's going to zero since 2017. So I'm assuming it's probably not really going to happen this year. But we're going to Polygon because the community is unique, because it's so tight, and we want to expand our user base to people who are really dedicated. And I think that Polygon's the answer to like finding dedicated people. And so we're going to build on Polygon. We're bringing a mirror version of the centralized vault system that we already have. We have a couple more products that we're going to release relatively shortly after the vault system. But we'll come to Polygon and before we mint the product of the so we'll be able to come onto the scene with something really working, and you also have a really great test case like on Solana, where you can go and check it out, see how it works on Sol, and then know that, like, you know, this vault system not only is going to work on Polygon, but like it'll work on all the other EVM chains as well. And so, you know, ultimately, this product that we're building specifically for Polygon has really, really pretty far-reaching implications as far as increasing the security across a ton of chains.
Oh wow! So it's not only just going to be like Polygon, like across EVM chains, like you said, like ETH and like all the other ones. That's like super interesting. And what's the collection actually going to be called?
So it's Honey Badgers. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And the Honey Badgers, it's a 3,500 piece collection of very cute little badgers, the DGAF, and we have spent. We've been working on badgers for 6 months already, and it's kind of interesting the approach that we're going to do. We really want to kill off the tribalism, especially like we're multi-chain. We have been multi-chain at heart since the very beginning. We know that, like, you know, that being chain agnostic is the way, and that, you know, in order to really have a viable business, like the idea needs to be, we're gonna acquire users across a lot of different chains, you know, and offer our products really everywhere. And so we're going to do a mini collection on Solana. It's the Soul Badgers, and then there's 350 Soul Badgers, which will really primarily be available for like our really dedicated community. And then we want to reward that 313.33 tier. And then so that marketing campaign will roll into the Polygon, the Poly Badgers marketing campaign. And suddenly, like, you have this big community of people from Poly, and you got people from Solana, and they're shaking hands and they're talking about Badgers, but they don't know what chain, the Badgers from. Like, it's really, I'm excited about the marketing campaign because it's really like, it's my two favorite communities out there, and getting to kind of bridge them is really nice. And I gotta say, like, shout out to Phantom. If it wasn't for Phantom making that bridge to Poly so seamless and so easy and clean, it would have been way harder for me just to make the move over there. Is absolutely natural. Like, we go between Phantom, Magic Eden. I go straight from one chain to the next, and I just don't blink. It's great, so I think that the user base, like our community on Solana, the bridge between the two, so simple.
Like, shout out to like Phantom, and I know you can't really give out dates. I know that's like a cardinal rule in this space and everything, but when exactly will we see the honey badgers? And can you give us like an estimate?
So what we're hoping to do is we're super close on wrapping the art. We're like very close to being done. It's just the very last stages. We are hoping to go to market approximately the end of April.
All right, man. I'm very excited, to hear that. And Mr. Burns, as you're coming from Solana, right? And I definitely want to ask you this question, though, right? As someone outside looking in, right? And I know we've had like this kind of like thing with Polygon, right? Like, why are people coming here, right? Like, why isn't have that AVAX over there? Like, they're kind of like pushing their like creators and whatnot, and everybody's kind of like mad and kind of figuring out like what do we do here, like on Polygon? How do we get people to come here? And kind of like, in your own opinion, like, how do you think we kind of like fix Polygon in the sense of like, how do we get people to come here and want to build here? I know you're already coming, but what do you think is your opinion on that matter?
I think a lot of the times it starts with memes, like memes and meme coins. I found myself I came to Polygon in September of 2023, August, September, sometime in that time frame. And I made friends with communities, and I bought NFTs and got access to chats, and started just grinding away and like trying to join the Polygon community. I think that a lot of interest comes to a chain when they have a really high value asset that is on that chain. I'll just say, like Cock in You, right? Like,
yeah,
I feel like that is such a good illustration of like a chain that I probably would not have like spent any time on, but because it's so hot, because influencers are talking about it, like this is that like guerrilla marketing that brings people to come and check out like what's the tech like, and from there, I really think it's about like getting the liquidity moving. And we have liquidity. There's liquidity problems all the time. Like right now, I think one of the biggest issues on Solana is there's so much crap. It reminds me of BSC. Like there's just like there's garbage shit coins. I'm all about flipping shit coins. Like I have nothing against it. But the percentage right now is so high of like instant rugs that you're getting liquidity drained from the system really badly. And it's going into the hands of people who are just, they're not the community, right? Like they're the people who are taking the money. And so, I think with Polygon, creating a way for liquidity to get freed up and then also to bring new liquidity into the system is, I think, like the most crucial thing. Like what exactly is going to bring funds from ETH or Solana or whatever it is to Poly and cause people to want to stay. I think like overall the infrastructure on Poly has grown so much over the past 4 years. Like it's 3 or 4 years ago was the first time that I had ever like done anything on Poly, and it was not the same chain. Like not like it was, you had to like bridge stuff, and it was very strange and just clunky. And today, like, it's smooth. It's very, very smooth. So like from my perspective, it's a matter of really creating a big draw to bring that money in.
Yeah, I thought we kind of had it, with Brozos, right, and then Drill Club and Manifest Labs, and it just seems that it did bring a lot of people in at the time. Then Utes came over here, right, but then they left, right, and that's the thing that I just can't really had a chance to solve though, right. But it seems like, right, Solana, every chain has their problems, right, but Solana has their problems, right, with the chain shutting down and everything like that. But Solana, Polygon, as you can kind of compare the two, right? Well, both have, cheap transactions and everything like that, and of course Solana does shut down, right? There's times network outages and everything like that, but they're continuing to keep going, and it's still like this huge like powerhouse, right? It's just something, honestly, Mr. Burns, I just don't understand. But Solana, it is where it's at. They're just a machine that just keeps on freaking going. They had the FTX thing that crashed them down, but like, I don't know if it's the community. Like, I still don't have an answer as to why people are like, it's just come back and it's even better than ever.
So I think that a large part of the liquidity on Sol is related to the VCs, and the VCs related to FTX and like the fact that like there was just so much money, right? That was created out of thin air. And there are big players that have a huge amount of money invested in Solana. And it creates a ton of liquidity. At the same time, like there's so much, the influencer game is really strong. We've got a lot of people coming from Ethereum that now, like, they know liquidity flows, right? Like they know that there's a huge degen population. I think that there's a lot of degenerates that like came from BSC also, because there's so much liquidity on Sol. And so you have this huge population, huge number of influencers who are all just kind of diving in, and the money is definitely moving around quite a bit. But it's the wheels are slow right now, honestly. Like everything's getting wrecked. And what's interesting is Base. Suddenly, like Base is a really interesting play because of just the connection to Coinbase. The fact that like they're not gonna put out a coin. That's my understanding. They're not like putting out an L1, but it is like Coinbase's network, and I would imagine that Coinbase has serious interest to get some of these meme coins up into the high billions of dollar market cap, because it's their baby. So and it's tied to EVM, and the liquidity is easily migrated into that chain. It's interesting. But as far as like Poly is concerned, I think like overall it's kind of like It's not if you will build it, they'll come, right? Because people are building it right now.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of infrastructure there. I think it's a liquidity thing, and also at the same time, like, there's a lot of networks that are suffering right now.
Yeah, no, like definitely, and yeah, I don't know. It's just something that we just. I think we'll eventually get through it and kind of like power through it and on Polygon, and we'll have something. I don't know what exactly though, but as we talk about everything's kind of going on with the like security and everything like that, and I want to ask though too, and I meant to ask you this earlier, Mr. Burns, have you been drained before, and if so, like how long ago was that?
So amazingly, I've never been drained.
I've
never been drained. So I was. The reason I actually switched from ETH into Sol was that I thought I was going to get drained. There was like I forget exactly what it was, but I know I clicked on some sort of maybe malicious link and other people were getting drained. I don't know if I just didn't sign the transaction, but I was really, really scared, and I ended up spending like $1,000 in gas to move my assets from one wallet to another one, and I was pissed. Like it was $1,000 that I really just didn't want to spend. And, I just have been super lucky. Now, as far as all the other scams, I definitely have gotten those, and lots of honeypots and lots of liquidity pulls and all that other stuff. But I've been really, really lucky on the drain front. Like I said, and this doesn't mean anything because anybody can get drained, but I am really pretty obsessed with like security and have been, since the very beginning, just like very meticulous with the way that I operate in Web3 and making sure that like during those FOMO moments that I am checking out where stuff comes from, that I'm thinking about like, oh, weird, why is this link being posted in every single channel of the Discord? Oh, I had no idea they were doing a mint day today. The mint, I'm very, very hesitant, and also like I try to practice. I try to like be pretty proactive with using a burner wallet, and a burner wallet is not everything, but it's definitely security is about having layers. And adding as many layers as you can so that your assets are safe. I use a burner wallet when I'm interacting with really anything that I don't know, what it is. I have multiple wallets that are behind different seed phrases. I think that a lot of people forget about that you can create 100 different wallets on a Phantom and other wallets, but they're all behind the same seed phrase, right? And so if you ever get your seed phrase compromised, everything potentially is compromised. And so spreading it out, using ledgers, using Defender protocol, like there's a lot of layers to security that I think people need education about. And it has helped me, but at the same time, I do think that I'm probably just lucky. Aside from like having the layers, I definitely think that I'm lucky because I'm of the mind to fuck around and find out. And I just haven't found out that one lesson.
Yeah, no, that on me, unfortunately, I've been wrecked, a couple of times, and kind of. Like you said, using a burner wallet, right? And kind of, what other tips would you have though, besides just the burner wallet, of course, Defenders protocol though, but to kind of keep people safe, like, kind of like real quick, like, just for people out there watching this, so they don't get drained themselves.
So I'm pretty meticulous with like, with bookmarking. So I bookmark stuff a lot.
Yeah.
I just like, I hate going to like Twitter or to random web pages or whatever and like try to find, like I would say rarely ever would go to Google and search a specific platform in order to go to that website and connect my wallet. So what I would do is I would end up going, I go to Twitter and search for the Twitter account, and I confirm that there are users that I know that are actually following it. Often I will actually confirm with other people that this is the correct link. Once I'm sure that it's the right link, then I add it into my bookmarks folder, and it's, you know, it's a slower way to do things, but it's safer. You know, and you know, like I said, I could make a mistake at any point, but it has been helpful so far to do that. You know, having bookmarks, going slow. I make the biggest mistakes ever when I'm going too fast. And in Web3, like, scammers count on you going too fast. You know, that's part of it, is like, you know, during a mint or something, right? Where like suddenly, I gotta tell you, like, part of the reason that I came up with the idea for Defenders was because I've worked in so many Web3 communities, and have watched my friends do everything. You know, my background in IT is like, I come up with solutions to problems, right? Like everyday problems. If you look at them from a solution side and start building backwards, how do you fill in to get to that solution? You can come up with really interesting ways to solve problems to everyday, or to create solutions for everyday problems, and that's where Defenders came from. It's like, you know, you can freeze your assets, right? You can already do that, but you got to get them out, and you got to make it so that there's another key. Like with Defenders, there's two keys to get in. You need both of them in order to get into the door. And, you know, so I mean, I think overall, like, going slow, being meticulous, not just clicking random links. I was joking with a guy in the Defenders server today, because he just joined the other day and he got all of his assets set up and he's super excited. He's got his tokens locked. He's got his JPEGs safe and secure. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm just walking around clicking on drainers. It's great. And I was like, no, don't do that. Like, don't do that. We don't want to, like, you know, like, even when you like click on a drainer with Defenders, everything outside of your vault still is liable to get like drained, right? Like, stuff that's inside of your vault. So like, even if you got a soul or two that's laying around inside of your wallet, you still can get that drained. And you know, it's a matter of us really like rising up and not taking the bait. You know, there's just so much bait. That's what the scammers want. They want you to like take the bait, and if they can make $100 off of you, they're happy as happy gets. You know, like, so we're here for it. You know, like, there are so many different aspects of security that we can layer up, and that the overall community can layer up to make everything safer. I mean, another a great example of that is the peer-to-peer swap scams. You know, where people don't want to use marketplaces, and you're not going to solve that. People want to trade. They don't want to pay the extra percentage. They want to be able to swap from one NFT to another, plus a little bit. You know, like, people flip all the time, and there are more secure ways to go about that. You know, there are different like safeties that you can overlay that P2P swap process that would make it more secure. Staking, there's a more secure way to do staking. Like, the Defenders protocol overall is a staking platform. There's a lot of different implementations that we're looking at. So
and definitely with that, because the way I got last time it was what you just said. Like, I went on Google, typed in Uniswap, and it looked just like Uniswap, right? I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty smart. Like, you know, like, whatever. This looks everything drained out, and I was like, man, And yeah, and that's just one thing. Like, if I'd have met you sooner, I probably wouldn't have fell for that. But now I have to actually, like, like you said, go to Twitter, verify, and then even the other day I asked Merck because we're gonna swap with the Roost coin on base. And I sent him like, hey, is this the actual Uniswap? And he went like, yeah, no, this is the one. This is the actual real one, because I went to the Twitter account. Is this the real Twitter account? Send it out, and it's just it's definitely they get you when you're rushing, because that's how I was trying to rush to buy a shitcoin on I don't know where it was, but it was last year sometime. Everything out, like almost like 5G's out, and I was just like, oh my god, it happened. And that's because I thought I was a veteran already. I'm like, this could not happen to me, and it freaking did. So these guys are actually getting a lot better. And then of course it's always the another one that got me before that was the download the video game, download my game. Oh man, got me
so awful. We had a really, really close buddy from OK Bears who he was working actually. So like these scammers created an incredible, like believable situation where he thought that he was interviewing with a AAA game studio, like a real one. And they set him up, they had a freaking interview, and then they sent him a demo game.
Yep.
To play. I mean, like, these scammers are freaking good. They sent him a demo game to play, and the dude got drained. Just, like, awful. And I've worked for AAA gaming studios, too, and, like, they send you a file and like, here you go, set it up on your computer. And what other things, like I have different user profiles on my computer that, like, some are more secure than others, right? Like there's one user profile on my computer where, like, I don't do anything aside from Web3 interactions on. I actually have two separate web browsers. Like Safari is for Web 2. So like anything on Web 2, I do in Safari. Anything Web 3 is all on Chrome. Just a way to, like, kind of separate a little bit more and create one more layer.
Yeah, no, man, I was an idiot because, like, at that time I was trying to get into the influencer space, and they were basically like, yeah, man, you play our game, we'll bring you on, yada, yada, yada. And I downloaded the damn game, and it got me. I was like, God. It wasn't much, though, but still, like, you feel taken. The guy blocks you, and you thought, like, oh, man, I'm finally being recognized for being an influencer. And then they freaking, like, just dunk on you, which was so awful. But, yeah, man, no, these guys are getting, like, really, really, really good. And kind of like Mr. Burns, it's kind of a year out kind of question, though. But a year from now, like, where would you like the defenders and the honey badgers? Where would you like to be?
So at that point, year out from now, so over the next year, I would like to have 4 live products. Approximately. That's where I would like to be. Is we've got 4 products that we're working on. I would like all 4 of them to be moving, full tilt, and to be on probably exposure to 2 more chains within a year. Yeah. And overall, like, the goal is expansion. And the nice thing about that goal is that, like, as we expand, as we win, everybody wins. Which is awesome. It's just a really good feeling to be building something that actually helps people. And so a year out from now, having a number of different products that are all, like, working simultaneously and helping people out, that would be my goal.
Yeah, and I kind of want to, like, before I let you go, you had said 2 other chains. Do you have an idea what those might be?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, probably ETH is the next step, just because of the assets on ETH.
Yeah.
And then overall, like we talk about the different payment models, and moving toward potentially a subscription is a big move, especially as we move on to some of these other chains. But like, I think that it would be. I feel like there's different purposes for going to different chains, right? Like, ETH definitely has some high value assets, and being able to offer a security product there, being able to make a security product that interacts with games, gaming, would be pretty cool. And so there are a number of different chains that are heavier on gaming, and I don't want to give up too much about that, but there's a lot of different options out there.
Yeah, I have an idea what you're talking about too, and Burns, Mr. Burns, before you go, I do actually want to ask you kind of like one more thing, right? We're gonna, the halving's gonna happen here pretty soon, right? By the time this is out, of course, we're still gonna be quite a little bit of a ways out from the halving. It's actually closing pretty soon though. But kind of like, one, the whole landscape, like what's kind of like your prediction for like the whole cryptocurrency market, like kind of like this year? And two, are you also prepared for the eclipse happening? Do you think we'll survive that?
So my background is in science, and I've got some degrees in science and biology, and not super worried about the eclipse happening. I'm gonna have some glasses, and I think like probably the most worrisome thing is that glasses are like fake glasses that don't do anything. And I'm staring at the sun. So that's the most I'm worried about as far as the eclipse is happening. What's next? The fact that Bitcoin broke all-time high prior to the halving, I think it's a really good sign of strength in the ecosystem. There is a incredible amount of outflow from Bitcoin, that is Bitcoin being sold, but it's basically right now, like, the volume of Bitcoin that is sold is obviously equal with the amount of Bitcoin that's being bought, and to me it's really, really bullish how much Bitcoin's being transacted, and also like how much is being taken off of exchanges. I think I gotta say, like, I think one of my favorite sayings is Rob from Digital Asset News, and he goes, well, yeah, my prediction for Bitcoin would be anywhere between $5 and 500,000.
Yeah.
I think anything could happen. Overall, typical cycle, right, is the sell in May and walk away situation, where I would assume that things are going to be slow over the summer. It's like the most painful thing in the world when it's slow in the summer, and you're like, I just want everything to pump. It just doesn't. It's just so slow. People are at the beach. That's great. I think it's really good. And so I think that we'll probably have a slow time between May and September, and then come September, hold on to your ass, because those next like 3 or 4 months are just the last bull run was absolutely face melting, and to kind of be back in that position after last few years, it's exciting, and it's exciting to know that overall the biggest piece of advice I would say is zoom out. Like, zoom out to like a yearly time frame, and take a look at like what's the overall direction of the market. And the overall direction of the market is that like Solana has done an 11x or something since last year.
Yeah.
Like, if you just sat your ass down and didn't buy shit coins, which
I'm not gonna do that.
I couldn't have just
sat.
But like, if you don't have to do much to actually do well over the next year or 8 months, however long it is. Like, you just have to be stupid enough to just hold on to your bags and you know, hold through the turbulence, because there's turbulence coming. Like 100%, there is turbulence coming, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not going to be fun, and you're going to feel like things are going to zero. But you know, that super cycle, I believe, is a pretty real thing, and you know, like the overall 4-year cycle, it's like a pretty legit thing. You know, like people look at all these crazy TA lines, and they mean a lot of stuff to people. So, not to be that like vague about it, but you know, I think this next couple of months could be a little shaky, or maybe it's over. You know, like, who knows? Bitcoin's holding really well in that 60 range, you know, like, looks like a pretty nice consolidation to me before we get another leg up. And I would assume that probably, well, I don't know. I have no freaking clue. $500 or 500,000 is where I'm thinking.
5 to 500,000. And, you know, Mr. Burns, I do appreciate you like coming on though. But before you go, right, is there anything else you want to say, or any community members you want to shout out, or anybody in general you would like to shout out?
Oh man, gosh, shout outs. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, a shout out to the Defenders community. We have people really, like, it starts at that 3-tier, the 3rd tier, where they're holding 3 Defenders. Like, the fact that people believe in us and have been supporting us for the past 6 or 7 months has been incredible. We as a utility project, like, we're not trying to be crazy hype. All of our engagements 100% real. It's like, this is one of the things that we try to like stomp out, is like, you know, fake engagement. And you know, we try not to get things too crazy hype, and we try to just keep on building and put out a decent product. And so, you know, we have this community that believes in us, and I'm beyond appreciative of them. You know, my team that I work with, these guys are rock stars. We work our asses off all day long, 7 days a week, and been doing it for like 16 months or so. You know, I'm excited to join the Polygon community. Shout out to you guys. Like, I love chilling on the Chad's chat and hanging out. It's a really different ecosystem. Like, it really, really is. Like, the people, you know, especially that Chad's chat that we're in, like, we've got Mark in there. We've got like all these legends that are hanging out in this chat and, you know, talking about meme coins, or they're talking about utility or ag or whatever it is. And I don't get that in Solana. Like, I just don't get that in Solana at all. The closeness and proximity to like the Polygon Foundation is pretty awesome. Like, I love that. So you know, just shout out like Big Nil, Gandalf, Merc, all the homies in the Chad chat, Engineer. Like, it's an exciting time for me to be bringing my community over into the Polygon community. Excited. I gotta get on more spaces, dude. I'm like, I gotta get onto more spaces. I was on the Mark Holzer podcast a couple months ago, and one of his challenges to me, he was like, Burns, you need to just get on more spaces, like as many as possible. It's super hard. I work way too much and I don't do it enough. So if you see me out there, you just pull me in, say, get on this space now. Like,
man, gotcha, 100%. No, and especially like, you know, with Mark too. Mark's also a really good one as well, and you know, with his casting couch you're on, and you know, everything like that, and you know, coursing in the spaces, man. We would love to have you, and it's just, you know, this Polygon community, you know, having someone like you come in and build, it's just been great for us, and we can't wait to see, you know, what you do, you know, here with the honey badgers and whatnot. I'm really excited to have you.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and you know, guys, it's gonna wrap our show. If you like content like this, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on X. Follow Mr. Burns on X too as well, because he's actually gonna be jumping in, like he said, 10 spaces a day. 10 spaces a day. But I will see you guys around on the next one. Take care.